Hello and welcome to the Booksplosion Windfall live show. This month we're working with Random House. We're going to be taking all your cues today. It's going to be a spoilery discussion, so if you haven't read the book yet, you might want to leave. It's a contemporary book. It's super fun. It's a super quick read, and it has like a lot of depth to it. But before I go into book, hold on, I need to say something. Oh, we're taking questions from you guys on Twitter. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people who like don't realize I say this and ask questions in the live chat, and we're gonna miss them. So guys, we're taking questions on Twitter with the hashtag WindfallSplosion. Like there's a very slim chance we'll see your question come up in the live chat. So like you can ask questions there, but we will definitely see it on Twitter. Okay, so Jesse, kick us off with your Windfall thoughts.
All right, well, I really enjoyed it. It was like a light, fun read, but it did also bring forth a lot of really interesting discussions about like money and friendship and family and all that kind of stuff, so I really enjoyed it. I did find it to be a little bit predictable at times, and I don't really feel like it brought anything new to kind of this story, because I feel like I've seen this story be done before, but I still enjoyed it. It was a fun time, so yeah, those are my thoughts, general thoughts.
Kitten?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, it's a fun contemporary, but like you guys said, there's like some depth to it too. Like there's a lot of interesting things that it touches on. I didn't personally love the romance, but I also felt like that wasn't like a main point of the book. There's a lot of interesting stuff that kind of tackles the whole like winning the lottery situation and like how that changes relationships, how that just changes your life, like everything. So I really loved the exploration into that. And yeah, it was a good book, fun, contemporary. Yeah, I guess that's it.
You want to say anything else? Sorry, I thought you were wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm done.
Someone asked in the chat what the hashtag is. I'm just going to repeat. Windfall Splosion. Hashtag Windfall Splosion on Twitter. That is where we're taking your questions. Anyway, so I was like really surprised by how much I ended up enjoying Windfall, because like in the beginning, like right off the bat, I was like, I hate this boy. Like I don't hate him, but he was so annoying. Like I was like, I don't like Teddy. Like he's so frustrating. I just want to push him off like one step, not a lot, but just like off one, and just like go away. But at the same time, I really like the family aspects of this. I think they really touched on, like, Jesse, you said you've heard this story before. I think like I haven't seen like, I don't know, this like college decision thing with the family before really in YA that much. I really liked seeing her like kind of go back and forth about where she wanted to go and like the reasons why she ended up staying, and like I don't know, I just liked that aspect of it because we saw a lot of like her interactions with her like aunt and stuff. I really loved those.
Yeah, that was the one scene that like hit me the hardest.
Me too.
I was just like, like the family stuff. I loved the family relationships. I loved all the lottery stuff and like the fallout of what happened there. But yeah, Teddy, as soon as we met him, I was like, he's the love interest. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just like, I loved Sawyer. I thought he was so cute. And like, I was just like, how can you even think Teddy when you have this like excellent, like really cute, nice boy, like who's trying to like court you? And Teddy's like, I'm bored. Like the one thing I did like appreciate about Teddy, like not appreciate, but I just liked how his character had all this shit going on with his dad, and I could see like this ending up how his mindset is. Like when you first meet Teddy, he's like, what'd you get me? Like, oh, I want a present. What present is it? Show me what present you got me. I'm like, shut up. Like, why are you asking these stupid questions? But I guess, like, you know, he's used to, like, I mean, I don't know. He grew up with, like, whenever someone he loved came over, his dad, he did a present. And it was like, ooh, what is it? I don't know. But I really like the scene when his dad comes and asks for money. And that, like, brought me to tears almost because that was, like, very upsetting.
Yeah, the whole situation, like as the book went on, I definitely grew to like Teddy more. But I think that one of the problems with books where it's like an unrequited love with a friend that you've been friends with for 9 years, like has been the case in this book, like we didn't get to see that part of their friendship much. Like our introduction to the relationship is she's in love with him and we're on her side. So we don't get to see them like being friends, and we don't get to see like what made her fall in love with him necessarily, because like we're already there.
Yeah, well, her story wasn't very like it didn't make me love him at all. Like when she like dropped her sweatshirt that her mom had, and like he picked it up in the rain, and it was just like, I don't know, it was just like a mediocre story. Is this supposed to win me over? Because this guy's really annoying. You know that scene with the boat? I was just like, oh, I was so mad. I was like, when she was like sunk in the boat, he just left her in there. With, like, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you kidding? He's like, I was so humiliated. Excuse me? Like, right foot freaking here.
Yeah, I don't know if part of it is just because like I'm older now and I'm like, you know what's really attractive? Honest communication. Because like the part at the very end where like he was finding the envelope and she was still like scared that he was gonna like have a bad reaction, and she's like, oh, how's he gonna react to, you know, knowing that I liked him this whole time? And she was like nervous about that. And I just like, if you're in love with him and you're in this relationship, like, can't you trust that, like, and it was okay. Like, of course, like, he was so happy. Like, that's how the book ends. Is like, he's happy and he's like looking at her like he's super lucky and stuff. But it just like that moment of like fear, I was just like, but why? Like, you guys have been friends for 9 years. Like, it should be okay.
And now they're dating. Like, it's like, you should be, like, fine, and you should be able to laugh about it if it was
like, you have a crush on me. Like,
he was just like, right in the beginning when he dropped the card, like, I know, we knew immediately, like, he's gonna find it at the end. But yeah, that scene was just like kind of, in a way, like anticlimactic, because I thought he was gonna find it before they got together.
Yeah, I was hoping he would find it earlier.
Yeah, but like he was so annoying when she was like, yeah, you just like forgot that we kissed, and he was like, well, I was just like caught up in like the moment, and like you know, I don't really see this, like you know, and she's like, yeah, okay, fine. Everyone, Jesse, do you have any opinions here?
I just wanted to point out, because you like said that you disagreed that like it's not a story that you've seen be done. But like for me, like Teddy's story specifically is one that I feel like I've been thinking for, where he like lets the money get to his head, and like that's more of like what I was talking about with that. So I just wanted to point that out. Like not the whole story, like just his aspect.
Yeah.
And it didn't even like, I don't know, I didn't feel like it brought anything new specifically to like that story.
Yeah, I feel like she definitely had like a more interesting arc going on with her whole like family. Like I really liked how she like came to, I don't know, the island thing, like how she separates herself from her family. I think that whole aspect of it was really nice to see her kind of grow into realizing that, and like I don't know, try like make an effort to, you know, be closer to them.
And like, even though her parents died a long time ago, like she's obviously still dealing with it, and she's still like coming to terms with it. Like she still thinks of San Francisco as home, even though when she gets there, she realizes that it's not. And just like coming and like the whole like making peace with her family and realizing that like they're her family, like they love her, like she is a part of the family, like she's not the island. I really loved that aspect.
Yeah, I love that too. That was like when they were like, we always wanted you, you know, like I forgot.
When the aunt was talking about how like she wanted to have more kids, but like it didn't work out, and then like they got her in the family, and she's not just like this burden, like she's their family, like they want her. And they didn't think for a second, like, why didn't she take the money to pay us back for like how we've been raising her and stuff? Like,
not the Dursleys.
How did you guys feel about her not wanting to take any of the money though?
Like she was kind of a frustrating character in that aspect.
I was like, take at least like $1 million. Like just take $1 million.
Take that $1 million. Just a cool mill. No big deal.
You know what was the most frustrating scene? When Teddy was like, let's go out to dinner to this fancy pants restaurant. She's like, I don't want to go. And he's like, no, come on, I got this. And she's like, I don't want to go. And it's just like, freaking just go eat dinner at this stupid restaurant. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it was like, they went back and forth about it for like an entire 2 pages. I was like, just get in the restaurant and sit your butt in a chair. Like,
go to dinner.
Like, you can let him take you to dinner. You got him $140 million.
I did think it was really interesting. Like, you know, it wouldn't have been what I would do to like deny the money so hard. But it was really interesting that she was so averse to it, and you know, because of the whole like it's going to change things. Like, she already had an event in her life that changed everything, and like just $1 million, like that would still change her entire life and change everything. So it was interesting how averse to change she was in that regard. But
I would have taken it and been like, I'll put in my college fund so they don't have to pay for it.
Or like take it and give it to charity, like take it and do something with it.
Like charity in college. But if she does a college, she doesn't have to like have her aunt and uncle.
She does have her college money because her parents had like
her
college is covered. But I take it give someone else a college scholarship. Like,
yeah,
you can do something good with the money. You don't have to like keep it.
And she did feel shitty about that afterwards.
Yeah. And it's like such a weird situation too. It's like $140 million. Like, do we share it? Will you take some of it? Like,
yeah, and it was really interesting. Even like the point where Teddy asked her to run the charity. And, you know, she doesn't want to do it because she's never taken any time to, like, do her own hobbies and stuff because she spends all that time doing charity work.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, she'll probably come back to it, like, after college, I feel like, and help him run it. But, yeah, I mean, like, she can go do her own thing. It was just weird because it felt like she felt so strongly about it. And then she didn't. Yeah. Were you guys going to say something? Is Cat free?
Do we have a question?
Okay. Does someone have a question? Because I'm looking at the live chat now after I said that I won't see it in the live chat.
Okay, I have a question from Proud Book Lion. She asks, what animal would you cook, or would your cookie jar be, and what kind of cookies would it be filled with?
Okay. I'd want my cookie jar to be
Very complicated question.
I want my cookie jar to be a poodle. Inside I would want chocolate chip cookies without any chips, but like the dough of a chocolate chip cookie, not the dough of sugar cookies.
I don't know. I like the idea of a puppy jar as well. Any kind of puppy. Oh, maybe a corgi, because corgis are my favorite. And what kind of cookie would be in it? I don't know. Some kind of chocolate vegan cookie. Anything would do.
Would Baymax be considered an animal?
I love that.
He's
an animal, not listening to bananas over there. He's an animal, and I would have peanut butter cookies because I like peanut butter.
Baymax would be the cutest cookie jar ever. Oh my god.
The robot considered an animal.
Is an animal not listening to the brainwasher over there?
Is my microwave an animal? Microwave. So someone said, is Christine wearing a D&D shirt? No, this is 11.
It looks like a D20.
Well, you know what? They do play Dungeons and Dragons, and that's why it is this. But, like, it's about 11. It's all about the Stranger Things.
Yeah, but that's a D20.
What's a D20?
It's a 20-sided die.
Oh, you mean the dice. Yeah, I was like, but it clearly says 11, Kat.
I have another question. This is from 7-Up Vodka, and they ask, did you feel like Alice and Teddy's romance was forced? Bit of a downer, but I just was wondering.
I don't think it was forced. I just didn't like feel a lot of romance.
I just didn't like Teddy. Like, I was just like, enough in, I just saw so many negative things that I was just like, I'm annoyed by him. I see that he grew though. Like, there was character growth there. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And like in the end, you understand that like he maybe thought that he wasn't like, you know, worthy of being her boyfriend. And he didn't want to like put himself in that position and then let her down. Which, like, I guess that's a nice sentiment, but you said some things that really hurt her feelings.
It didn't, even though they ended up staying out there at the end, I didn't feel a lot of him wanting to be with her. Like, not even sort of subtext when they were talking and, like, I don't know, like, any kind of, like, lingering looks or, like, touches or anything. Like, I didn't see a lot of that. I didn't even see really that much. There was just like some petty jealousy when it came to Sawyer. And that
petty jealousy was so stupid because like you clearly said you didn't want to be with her like 5 seconds ago. Like sit down.
I don't feel like it was forced because I looked at Alice and I just felt like she had to be with him because they had so much history, and like she wasn't even really giving Sawyer like a chance when there was so much more chemistry between her and Sawyer. Like when her and Teddy were together, like yeah, I saw the history between them, but I didn't see any chemistry between them. It was very one-sided. It was like Alice was really wanting it, and Teddy was just like had this wall up.
Yeah. So. I felt that Teddy sounded like a complete idiot on the audiobook. Like his voice was just so dumb. But also, like, you know, toward the end, there were like some points where he like reaches out and like puts her hair behind her ear and stuff. And she's like, oh, he's never done that before. But it feels almost like he kind of felt obligated by the end. I feel like I've done all this work and she's a really nice person. And so, but I don't feel like it was forced. I feel like it took a long time for him to decide to give it a go.
Yeah.
He was very, like, really immature. So, like, that's part of it, too.
Yeah. I think they'll break up though.
Yeah, I don't see it lasting really.
No, I don't either. Like I feel like Leo almost should have been like, you can do better than Teddy. Let's see. Do you have another question, guys?
Here's one. What charity would you give money to if you won the lottery?
Probably more than
I literally talked about this in the upcoming video.
Yeah, it would be more than one for me. I mean, there's like I really love NaNoWriMo, and like there's an organization, a nonprofit organization that like runs that, the Office of Letters and Light. So I would like to donate some to them, and then also probably all sorts of like vegan charities. any charity that like promotes veganism, and like take my money.
I'd probably do like I'd donate some to like an Alzheimer's association to like try to find the cure for that, and cystic fibrosis. I have both those in my fam, and also like an organization like First Book that gives like books to young kids in need. And like there's so many, like if you have the money, like a Lumos who also gives to kids in need. So many.
The one that Maureen works for is called I Pour Life, and they do a lot of like amazing work. So I'll like donate to that, as well as like First Book, and like there's one called like Milk and Bookies, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot. So
I mean, I really love the idea that like Teddy came up with at the end, like the random acts of kindness, especially from someone who's like been in customers, like I've worked in customer service for years, and like when he gave that like waitress the huge tip, I was just like, yes, good. That was such a nice thing to do that like so drastically changes this one person's life. You know, it's not like giving to a charity that's doing, you know, lots of big work, which is still very important, but like he made a huge impact on just that one woman's life, and like that's something that would stick with her forever. Like remember that moment where she was like really down on her luck and someone gave her $1,000 that changed everything for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we keep calling her again? Was it like Chicken Lady or something?
Yeah, Chicken Lady.
We can't keep calling her that.
Yeah, I just lost my train of thought. What were we answering? The kids organization. Yeah, I thought that's just like a really like cool idea because you're always just like brightening people's days unexpectedly.
Yeah.
It's always the best. it's like it, and like you get to see their reactions, which is just like so heartwarming.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have a question from Karina. They asked, did you ever feel like Leo was left out from the trio?
I feel like it wasn't really a trio. Leo's like her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, was he older than her too, or were they about the same age? Can't really remember.
They're about the same age.
Because they're all going off to college this year, so.
Yeah, they're in the same grade at least.
Yeah. I don't think he was left out. I think like they had different relationships with all of each other.
Yeah, I didn't feel much of a trio kind of like ensemble. Like it all seemed like they had strong independent relationships, but as a trio together, we didn't see a lot of that. Like even when they first like call Leo to like meet them at the place, and they're like, get over here, it's still like them calling him over. Or like Leo and Alice like going to Teddy's party together. Like we didn't see a ton of like trio-ness.
I feel like they are like a friend group, but they're not like, oh, we're the trio. They're just all friends. Like,
well, it kind of felt even more just like family. Like it felt like Teddy was a part of their family. So, like that's kind of the relationship that they had.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's like they're cousins almost, all of them.
Yeah.
Also, there's like a romance brewing between Alice and Teddy. So like Leo can't be there for all of that. That would like affect the romance storyline. So
yeah. Like I thought that something was gonna happen with them like so much earlier on, because we had that scene on the bed, and then it was just like nothing forever. He's an asshole. Have you guys ever met someone like Teddy? I'm sure we have. I'm sure there were Teddys in my high school.
Yeah, I mean, he has a good heart. Like he's not a bad guy. He's just immature, and
he gets caught up in it.
Yeah, and he's had a good life. Like he's had a lot of like rough things happen to him with his family, and like him and his mom live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like his mom sleeps on the couch. Like he's been through some stuff, so it makes sense that like when he does win the lottery, he goes a little bit crazy. Yeah. But he learned his lesson. You know, he's only 18. He's like the youngest lottery winner. Like a degree of immaturity is not surprising, but like he does definitely grow by the end.
Someone said Christina's the messiest background. I just want to clear up. We're all flying tomorrow. I'm like packing a bajillion things, so everything is everywhere. Just usually clean up the background before we start.
And also, just because she has the messiest background doesn't mean that Jesse and I don't have mess around us.
I'm literally just about to say that because you don't want to see my room right now.
But back to Teddy. Yeah, like there were, you know, that guy who like he likes to be praised, and like so he gets like it was so annoying watching him be like caught up in the lottery like hype. Like when he won, he's like when he walks into that one classroom and the teacher didn't say anything about it, and he was like, oh, okay, fine, I guess I'll just sit down.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you sit down. This has nothing to do with English class.
Honestly, I thought there was going to be more of an issue with him winning the lottery, because you have to be 18 to buy a ticket, and like he wasn't 18 when the ticket was purchased. So I thought there was going to be like some kind of conflict there, like he was going to have trouble claiming it or something, but that didn't end up happening.
Well, I'm glad. That would have made like another problem.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna end up having to be like Alice has to claim the money and get the money, and it was gonna get like messier in that way.
Distribute it to him or something.
Yeah.
Did you guys get the lump sum, or would you guys do the yearly distributing thing?
Oh. I don't know. I need to talk to a professional.
Yeah.
I'm leaning toward lump sum, just so like I have it all and it's done. And also like I've always been pretty good with my money, so I'm not worried that I'm gonna like blow it all. But like I'd be able to buy a house and like invest the rest or do something with it. Whereas like if you get it monthly, like I mean, I guess you could still buy a house, but you have to like do the mortgage, and I don't know. I don't know how adult things work.
Okay, let's see here.
I have a question.
Good.
This is from Aaron, and they said, if you won the lottery, what would you get for your fellow Booksplosion members?
Well, like, what kind of thing are we talking about here? Like, it's the lottery.
Like, you had to buy each other like one item. What would that one item be?
Oh, God. Like, I'd have to like really think about it.
Yeah.
Like the first thing that pops into your head, just go with it.
Dogs.
Socks? It's all you're gonna buy me is socks?
I said dogs, you idiot. Dogs.
Dogs. Oh, yeah, I love that idea.
Dogs.
What?
Puppy.
Oh, dog. I don't have a dog. I don't need a dog.
Maybe new computers, because we could all use new fancy, like, top of the line computers.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy you guys new cars, so.
Ooh.
I do need that was my first thought, but I know Christine has like a fairly new car.
I didn't even think about a car. I was just like, dogs.
I was just thinking like, Kat was getting new tires today. She needs a new car. There.
I need a new car.
Like I said, I'd like time to think about this.
You know what I would buy for us? I don't need time. I would buy like an awesome European vacation for us.
Oh yeah.
Fund a trip like
Around the world.
yeah. And we could like stay at all the nicest, fanciest hotels and like fly first class, which is something I've never ever done. And
I know, me either.
it would be really fun.
Oh my gosh, I want to do that.
That's why I liked that Teddy bought Alice, or kind of like bought for all of them like a trip to go to Kenya, which is like a place that she's always wanted to go. And I just think like that's such a good way to spend the money, like spend it on experiences and travel and his random acts of kindness thing. Like, but by the end of the book, I feel like we're in a really good place with this money spending.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like the gesture, like letting her go see the college that she wanted to go to. I felt really bad when he went home from Mexico and the kids were like, "Oh, we maxed out all your credit cards." Like, why the hell did you leave them with your credit?
Yeah. And like they were like,
Who took them on the trip in the first place is what I want to know. How did they convince you?
Yeah, and like it wasn't entirely clear, but did they like wreck a jet ski? They like destroyed a jet ski and had to like pay for it with his money, of course. And like, oh.
The whole thing, I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. I mean, also, like, it's just they had no respect for the money. It wasn't like, they appreciate it. Yeah, they didn't respect him. It was just, he was the kid who won the lottery. And, like, we start to see that more, when he starts to mess up a little bit. I really love that, like, how he was used to like people kind of cheering him on and being on his side because he was the underdog for so long. And guess what? Now you're rich. Like, people want to see you fail now. They want to see you fall on your face.
I really like that too. And it really shows like, just like humanity in general is like that. And
yeah. Because like, it's so much easier to root for him when he's the underdog. And it's like, oh, he lives in this tiny apartment, like he wasn't planning to go to college because he couldn't afford it. And then he wins and you're like excited for him, but then he starts like blowing his money and you're like, dude, no.
Yeah, and like it's just like it happens to anyone. Like when like an author has all of a sudden like really successful, everyone just like tears apart their books, and it's just like
every little thing to like try to tear them down.
Yeah, they're just looking for something, and it's just like the same with celebrities. Like they're like looking for something to bring them apart.
Like we like the underdog, but once you have any amount of success, like
destroy you somehow.
Yeah, we don't want to see that continue. Like
their own entertainment. Like people, humanity is so mean.
I know.
Okay, Hufflepuff_007 wants us to sort the characters and do Hogwarts houses.
Okay, well, shall we start with Alice?
Yes, Alice.
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Might be Hufflepuff. I think she's
Ravenclaw.
She gets pushed around too much.
But she's too like she doesn't have that loyalty factor. Like she like cuts herself off from people too much, I feel like.
I think she is loyal. She's so loyal to Teddy that even though he's an asshole a million times, she thinks she's still in love with him. She doesn't want to give up on him.
I mean, I could see this, and it's definitely like she could go either way.
Doesn't take the money. A Ravenclaw would take that money and invest it. Like that would, and like do shit. Like
not necessarily.
I think
she was thinking about her other like situation at hand though. Like she wasn't.
She's also very loyal to her parents, and that's why she does all the charity work. She feels very
yeah, she is very loyal to her family.
In college because her mom was going to go to that college. She's very loyal.
I stand by Ravenclaw.
I mean, I'm a Ravenclaw here, and I can. She's not a Ravenclaw.
Okay, so Teddy. Let's go with Teddy.
Teddy's Gryffindor.
Teddy is Gryffindor for sure. No doubt about that.
Okay, Leo.
Leo might be a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I can see Leo being the Raven because, like, he does take the logical path when it comes to his boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, like that situation.
Yeah,
he really like thought about it and was like, you know, I need to go to the school of my dreams. Like, I need to follow that. And
he's the one who's like, okay, let's get a lawyer here. Meanwhile, the other two are like, oh, Leo!
Let's go shopping. It's like, it's a ticket. You have nothing right now.
Like he was so stupid. Like before he got the money, like maxing out those credit cards all over the place. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. How did he even get those credit cards? Like,
they're probably the ones that are like, you were pre-approved for this. Like,
how is it the worst? And they like charge you so much in interest. And he's an 18-year-old kid. He literally just turned 18. He has no credit. Like, what did he do? Get a $300 limit credit card that he has to pay like a yearly fee on? Like, what is he doing with his life?
His mom was not there to monitor those decisions. When he was like, okay, buying that apartment building for his mom, and she's like, yeah, now she's gonna have 2 whole floors to herself. I was like, I don't think she wants 2 whole floors to herself. That's so lonely. Like, there's only the 2 of you. You could just get one nice big apartment.
Yeah. And also the fact that, like, she loved their old apartment so much, but it wasn't as much for the apartment as it was just, like, the memories of their situation at that time. Yeah. Like, it was the family all together. They were doing better financially. And, like, because to go back to, like, where your old apartment, but have, like, the apartment gone, like absorbed into like this one big floor, like I don't know if I would want that. Like it kind of ruins the memory of that simpler time.
Yeah, I'd want a house. You know what he could do with that?
Get a new house, get a new place.
Yeah, I'd want that to be the head. Maybe he would change it into the headquarters of his business.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just actually assumed that he would do that. He has a room and it's in a convenient location. Okay, let's get another question.
Who would be the first person you told if you won the lottery?
Probably my mom.
Mom!
I mean, probably, yeah, my family, or I'd probably go on Voxer and tell you guys. I'd be like,
guys, I'd like at the same time, I'd be like, Mom, and I just like text it up.
Tweeting it out. But otherwise, like my first, I would contact a lawyer like immediately because I don't know anything and like I would need help. I don't even know how to find a lawyer for this. Like my first step would be to contact like a family member who knows how to contact a lawyer.
Yeah, I would contact my lawyer family member and be like, what's the appropriate lawyer for this? Okay, I'm gonna go on Twitter so I can see the questions. Now I'm literally just looking at the chat. So if you guys want to put questions in the chat, I'm here.
Trying to find another question.
everyone listening to most girls out there. Stuck in my head. Is anyone in the chat going to BEA BookCon? BookCon. Is anyone going to BookCon this weekend? Is anyone going to be at the panel? We have a panel this weekend on Saturday. And when I think this weekend, I mean next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah.
June 3rd, 5:30, Javits Center. Tickets for BookCon are on sale now. thebookcon.com.
You want to go ahead and announce our June book of the month as well while we're at it?
Yeah. Okay, so our June book of the month is I don't have it with me.
I have it.
Yay.
You have it.
I can't tell what it is because I lost the dust jacket like 16 years ago when I first read this book. What is it?
It's The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman.
What?
Woo! Yeah, we're doing a reread / this is a first read for me.
It's a reread for me, but I've only ever read the first book.
Nice. Okay, because there's like a prequel to this series.
Here's the situation.
You tell because you've read the first 3, so you have.
Well, when I first read this book, I was like 12 at the time. It was like when I was actually like young, I read this, and I didn't know it was part of a trilogy. I thought it was a standalone, so I just read the first book. I never even got the rest of the trilogy. But now there's another trilogy that's coming out. It's not a sequel. It's not a prequel. It takes place like in between points that we see in the original trilogy. So they call it an equal because it's like in the same time period, but it's like different aspects of, you know, the main characters. Like it's like some of it takes place before, some of it takes place after, some of it takes place during. It's just like another trilogy with the same characters in this world.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so like from reading the description of the new book called like Dust of Shadow that comes out in September or something, like I just thought it was a prequel.
It's like prequel, sequel. It's all of it all together. It's like a really interesting because I don't know of another trilogy situation like this.
Yeah, interesting. So
really unique. But
we're doing a reread of The Golden Compass, and Random House, who publishes these books, is actually doing a reread. We're kicking it off with The Golden Compass, but they're rereading the whole series over the summer. So
and I might actually join in on that whole read along, because like I've been wanting to read this whole trilogy for a while.
Yeah, and so many people had read it. Like when the movie came out and everyone hated it, like everyone was so excited about it because they had all read it as kids, and I was like. And I was in high school, and I was like, what is this series? Like, no one ever told me about it.
Yeah, I feel like I read this, I want to say before Harry Potter, even.
Really?
At around that same, like, I mean, I was 11 when the first Harry Potter book came out, so I feel like I was around 11, 12. Like, it was at least early days of Harry Potter, if not before Harry Potter.
I had to read it for, like, a college class, so I read it pretty recently.
Oh, you read it recently, then. Interesting. So yeah, this will be really interesting because Jesse and I have both read it. I read it like 16 years ago.
You read it as like a kid. Jesse, I haven't read it at all. So we'll have a lot of different perspectives, and a lot of people have
it's a big book that like so many people have read. Like it's a book of my childhood.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be a really, really fun, interesting read along.
Yeah, it should be like a really interesting discussion at the end of the month for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we're kind of like out of questions. If there are any last questions about Windfall, ask them now. If not, we'll start to wrap things up. We don't have a July book of the month nailed down yet. I don't think we've decided. Not yet, but we'll let you know when we do. Some people were asking me, I think been asking all of us over the past few months, like, how do you find out what the Booksplosion book of the month is? And I think we've been keeping our Twitter up to date, so it usually has the book of the month. And if you watch our book hauls, we all announce the book of the month in our book hauls. And they're usually at the start.
Like the first book that we haul, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be like, this is the book of the month. But it's always like safe to also like follow us on social media, and we always talk about it there. On our Twitters and Instagrams, which mine's @XteenMay.
Jesse the Reader.
@Cat _tastic. I'm gonna need to switch it so my names are all the same. So I have the @KatieTastic Twitter. It's like my backup Twitter. So I need to do anything there. But yeah, I think the Booksplosion Twitter, like if you just want like a real quick answer about what's the next book of the month, Booksplosion Twitter is the one to do. Yeah, just @Booksplosion. But otherwise, like we talk about the book all throughout the month. Like most of our videos, like if it's a haul or or a wrap-up video, like it'll be in the description, like at least an announcement of what it is, kind of stuff. So yeah.
And I know I put like also if we know the next book of the month, like I'll have all of the upcoming ones in the description. Yeah. So always check the book haul descriptions. But
I just caught another really good question about Windfall.
Good.
This question comes from Olivia C. I just caught it in the live show comments, which doesn't ever happen. They ask, what did you think about the end of Windfall, about her mentioning the other winners' stories?
I thought that was interesting. I like that we got to see a little glimpse of that, because that was like one of the most interesting aspects of the book to me, was like the lottery winning aspect and like how it changes your life and how you know, like a lot of good can come out of it, but also a lot of bad. So I liked that we got to see a little bit of like other people's experiences.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be the end, and then we had like another chapter about Teddy and Alice. Which I was just like, oh, that sounded like a really nice like zoom out ending. And then we had like the epilogue, I guess, where they were together. Yeah. Did you guys have any, what did you guys think of, we got like a decent amount of time about Leo's life, which I wasn't really expecting because we were really focused on Alice and Teddy, but we almost learned enough about him to be like one of the main characters, but like not quite. Like we never really got to know Max, but we like kind of know Max.
Yeah, but we mostly know of him.
Yeah.
But I liked that little bit of Leo's story, and I liked how, you know, he sees that his two best friends have had like such rough things happen to him, so he's kind of always expecting like something bad to happen and something horrible to happen, and like the hardest thing he's had to do is like come out to his super liberal parents, which like wasn't that big of a deal. But I don't know, I really liked Leo, what we saw of him. Like I saw another question that said like if there was a book 2, would you rather it follow like Alice and Teddy or Leo and Max? And I'd say definitely Leo and Max. I'd love to see more of their relationship.
Yeah, I feel like though if there was that book, something bad would happen to Leo. Because there needs to be a plot.
But I mean, he could have struggles. Like maybe he like almost flunks out of school, but he doesn't. Like overcome the struggles.
We'd also probably learn about Alice and Teddy breaking up in that book. So.
Yeah, and I don't think he'd flunk out because he's going to art school now, and that's what he wants to do. And
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, he needs some kind of conflict. So, like, I don't know, he doesn't get along with a teacher or something. I don't know.
Or like maybe he cheats on Max with a teacher.
Oh, Christine, stop writing a sequel.
But yeah, I think those are all our thoughts on Windfall. Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you join us next month for the Golden Compass in June. It's going to be a fun reread / first read for me and discussion. And we'll see you next time. I'm Christine.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Kat.
Thanks for watching. Good night.